Enoch Burke has lost his defamation case against the Sunday Independent. He brought a claim against the Sunday Independent. He sued them for defamation. I have a video up here on my YouTube channel. Have a look at it. I'll put a link to it up there. And it explains the basis of his claim for defamation. Basically, the Sunday Independent published a story that Enoch Burke was transferred in prison, in Mountjoy Prison, when he was first sent to Mountjoy Prison, because for his own safety, because he was winding up and annoying other prisoners so much. However, that turned out to be untrue, not the case at all. He was transferred or moved as part of the normal prison protocol or something of that nature, and that was clarified. The Sunday Independent pointed out that that was the case. They accepted that what they published was untrue, but Enoch Burke wasn't satisfied. If memory serves me right, so the background is that he brought a defamation claim against the publisher, a media house of the Sunday Independent. The claim was in the newspaper that he was moved in jail for his own safety because he was winding up or annoying other prisoners. The judge held that the story, the judge now in this decision, remember, a defamation claim, held that the words in the story published in October 2022 were incapable of injuring his reputation. The judge said that the 7 paragraphs complained about are untrue. He said this was unfortunate, but he said the tort of defamation and the Defamation Act of 2009 does not provide a remedy for simply untrue statements made about a person. To obtain a remedy, the person must establish that the untrue statement tended to injure their reputation, he said. And this story came during Enoch Burke's first spell in prison in Mountjoy. He was after breaching a court order restraining him from attending St. Wilson's Hospital School, which had suspended him and later dismissed him after he objected to being instructed to refer to a male student using they, them pronouns. He was released for a short period, but he remains in jail. His situation is to be reviewed by another High Court judge on Friday. The judge in this particular case, in the defamation case, in his decision said, it must be the case that any person's reputation is diminished in the eyes of a reasonable member of society if they simply refuse to comply with a court order. So that's very, very important and very, very interesting, and essentially why defamation case here has failed. The judge has found that the person's reputation must be diminished if they are to win a case for defamation. And the judge has said, quote, it must be the case that any person's reputation is diminished in the eyes of a reasonable member of society if they simply refuse to comply with a court order. And that's what happened here. Enoch Burke did refuse to comply with a court order, and therefore the judge is saying that the person's reputation must be diminished. A reasonable reader of the article could not have had a view that Mr. Burke's reputation that was capable of being injured by an incorrect allegation that he had been speaking excessively about religion following his imprisonment, the judge said. The judge said that the suggestion that he severely annoyed his fellow prisoners by the repeated expression of his religious beliefs is a whisper in the hurricane of noise which his actions in September 2022, when he was first jailed, created. That's what the judge said. Mr. Burke, Enoch Burke, sued Media House, the publisher of the Sunday Independent, the newspaper's editor, Alan English, and reporter Ali Bracken, alleging that he was defamed in the story in October 2022. The defendants acknowledged that there were minor errors in the piece, but strongly denied that Mr. Burke was defamed. The article cited unnamed sources in support of its statement that Mr. Burke had been moved to a new jail cell for his own safety as he was annoying other prisoners and repeatedly expressing his outspoken views and beliefs. The newspaper issued an apology on the 1st of January 2023 and clarified that Mr. Burke's cell change was for operational reasons only and not for the reasons stated in the article. That's important. The newspaper acknowledged and accepted that what they had published was untrue, and they issued an apology. But the court or the newspaper strongly denied defamation and pleads fair and reasonable publication in a matter of public interest. The judge was unconvinced that there was any public interest benefit from the article, however. In the judge's ruling, he said he would have found that the fair and reasonable publication defence was not open to the publishers had the article been defamatory. Mr. Burke claimed the publisher conducted a malicious hit job by portraying him as someone who repeatedly expresses his religious beliefs to the point that people cannot bear it and might resort to physical violence. The teacher told the court that the paper made a grave and serious libel and defamed his character. The defendant denied these claims, and the judge essentially said that the words were incapable of injuring his reputation. And the reason for that, obviously, is because the judge found that a person who is in breach of a court order must necessarily see or accept that in the eyes of a reasonable person, that person's reputation is diminished in the eyes of a reasonable member of society if they simply refuse to comply with a court order. I'll put the original case up here on my YouTube channel. Have a look at it if you like, but that's essentially it. The Sunday Independent published what they published. They accepted it was wrong, they apologised, but Enoch Burke went ahead and sued for defamation anyway, and now he has lost his case.